Hello everyone, welcome to Shell Point Today for Tuesday, May the 3rd. I'm Rich Nation.
And I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi. On today's show, Jeff Corey of the Legacy Foundation talks about the 5 building blocks of success with your portfolio. And we'll head to the Arbor for a special tree planting event that happened when? On Arbor Day, of course.
But first, we'd like to remind you to join the Photo Club this Thursday for their last meeting of the season. Come enjoy an informational video that will inspire you to keep taking those great photos all summer long. The meeting takes place at 2:15 in the Social Center on the island.
Looking ahead to Friday, you don't want to miss the Mother's Tea and Fashion Show in the Grand Cypress Room at 2:30 p.m. This is the second annual event that's held to celebrate all Shell Point mothers. This year's theme is centered around clothing from the era of the Titanic. Speaker, author, and playwright Lori Ninehouse will bring each costume to life by revealing facts about the Titanic and the period. A variety of gourmet teas and pastries will be served.
And don't worry, we've already checked. No iceberg lettuce will be served.
And a ticket is required for this event. The cost is $8 per person. Mothers are encouraged to bring their daughters.
Do you know what the 5 building blocks of a successful portfolio are? Well, don't worry, neither do I. But apparently they do know over at the Legacy Foundation. In fact, professional finance, wealth management, and strategy advisors are coming this Thursday to present the 5 building blocks in a Legacy seminar. Terry Colath speaks now with Jeff Corey of the Legacy Foundation to find out more.
Hi, I'm Terry Colath. I am here with Jeff Corey, our Legacy Foundation Director. We're talking about a Legacy seminar in this summer academy, our first one. And Jeff, it is a Legacy seminar on construction.
That's right, constructing a portfolio.
And we're going to talk about building blocks.
That's right. We have some folks from UBS and Vanguard that are going to be with us. It's going to be a special seminar, very educational. I think no matter what your age is, never too late to review your portfolio and make sure you're doing things right. The markets nowadays, everyone knows, are very volatile. So this will be a good seminar for folks to come hear some basics about investment planning and putting together your portfolio.
And it's probably important, since things are so volatile and things are always changing in finances, that we don't just do this once and think we have it made.
No, exactly. I mean, it's something you need to keep aware of and keep on top of. I think more so now than ever before. You turn on the TV and you see all the geopolitical things happening and worries about banks and debt and all sorts of things that seem to rock the market, from one day to the next. So it's important to keep an eye on it, to get a second opinion, to go to seminars like we have here at the Academy, just to keep our residents informed.
And it kind of comes to mind that we're talking the same way about our financial wellness as we talk about our physical wellness. Don't we have to more be advocates for ourselves now than ever before?
Oh, I
you
think
used
so.
to say, go to the doctor will take care of everything.
Right.
Right. Go to the investor, he'll take care of everything, but we have a role.
Exactly. I think people are becoming more aware, and I think education plays a part in that, and the wellness of a person. And I think even here at Shell Point, we talk about life quest and the whole being of body, mind, and spirit.
Right.
And part of that is, people worry about finances and what that does to their health and that sort of thing. So we're just trying to be a part of the whole wellness movement here at Shell Point.
Sure, it's all about balance, isn't it? If there's something nagging you or bothering you, we have an opportunity with all of our resources here to fix it.
Right.
To get the information we need and get ourselves in a good balance with our mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly. And we have lots of people like the Hindens that'll be here from UBS. Lots of resources for people to reach out to that if they need some help, we'll find somebody that can help them.
And they're resources that we know and trust, thanks to our Legacy Foundation.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you'll want to take every opportunity to come to find out about the 5 building blocks of successful portfolio construction and get the latest information for yourselves and your investments.
Last Friday was observed as Arbor Day. It's a time set aside to encourage people to care for their natural environment. Many get their hands in the dirt and plant trees, bushes, or other plants. About 1 million trees were planted in Nebraska on the very first Arbor Day in 1885. At the Arbor Assisted Living at Shell Point last week, Arbor Day was observed and celebrated with the planting of a tree as well. Here's a recap of the event.
Hi, well, we are here out behind the Arbor Assisted Living Facility, and it is Arbor Day. And I'm here with Sherry and Morgan, and they work here at the Arbor, and they have put together an exciting activity today. They're going to plant a tree, is that right?
We are. We're planting the Geiger tree today, and we have a special guest, Becca Grotrian from the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation, who is here today to give us a little history about the Geiger tree and the debate about whether or not it is a native tree to Florida, the history, the story of how it came here. So she's got some great information to share with us. And this is a tradition they do every year at the Arbor, just to get together, celebrate our beautiful home, and spend time with their neighbors.
Well, this is a great thing. You know, Arbor is all about planting trees and the environment. And my understanding is it started many years ago in the 1800s. And the first Arbor Day, I think over 1 million trees were planted.
That's right. It was J. Sterling Morton who started Arbor Day. He was one of the first settlers out in the Nebraska region, and he brought his passion for agriculture out there, encouraged all of the locals to grow their passion for agriculture as well. And he started Arbor Day. The first one was back in 1854 was the beginnings of the story. And they planted over 1 million trees that first year, and if we can continue the tradition here at the Arbor, maybe we'll come close to that number with our tradition as well. Might take us a little while, but we'll get there.
So how many years has this been going on? Let me ask Sherry, she might know.
I believe it's been going on for about 5 years. And we have Betty Symes, who has done a couple dedications to trees. She's going to be reading the Trees poem for us. And today we have Dr. Staples doing the actual shovel, the plant dedication this year. So
That sounds great. Now, do you plant these all in the same area, or is it in a different spot each year?
Yes, we plant it in the same spot each year. We have several trees located in one area outside of our gazebo.
Well, this is a gorgeous gazebo and a beautiful place to do this. And if you missed it, there's always next year. But you know what you can do is you can come out here to the Arbor and take a stroll on this walkway and come right out here to the gazebo and just enjoy Mother Nature and the beautiful weather and see what's going on, see the new tree that they've planted that we're all going to learn about. And what's the name of that tree again?
The Geiger tree.
The Geiger tree.
Yeah, come out, take a look at it. There's plenty of seating out here. It's always beautiful. You can meet some of our residents here at the Arbor who love to be part of the community, and everyone would love to see you here. So every year here at the Arbor, we plant a tree out here. Steve Morton helps us with that, with picking out a tree and getting it planted for us. And we do this to celebrate the blessing that's our beautiful home here and to pass on that blessing to those who come after us here at the Arbor and at Shell Point. The story of how Arbor Day came to be actually starts back in 1854 when J. Sterling Morton, a pioneer from Detroit, moved to the Nebraska Territory. As a nature lover, Morton covered his new land with trees, shrubs, and flowers, and he was able to spread the information about agriculture once his journalist career took off and he became a newspaper editor. The stories and information he shared through his work inspired an entirely new community of agriculture enthusiasts in the Nebraska Territory, with all the newcomers and settlers out there. And these folks understood and appreciated the need for the trees to steady their soil, to use as fuel and building materials, among the other uses of the trees out there. And missing the trees of their homelands, Morton and his fellow agriculturalists began furiously planting trees in their new land, and they encouraged civic organizations and groups to join in their efforts. After becoming the secretary of the Nebraska Territory, Morton's mission really took off, and the value of trees was first officially recognized at the first Arbor Day on April 10th in 1872. And they offered prizes to the counties and individuals and organizations who properly planted the largest number of trees on that day. And it was actually estimated that over 1 million trees were planted on that first Arbor Day in Nebraska alone. It'll be very interesting to see how close we can come to that number as we continue this tradition here at the Arbor.
I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a nest of robins, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. When I was in high school, our girls' octet sang the song Trees, and Joyce Kilmer's poem will be forever written in my heart.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hi, I'm Bev Chandley, and welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm going to tell you the activities that we have offered for you here today at Shell Point. At 7:15, we have an early health connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That'll be in the Tarpon Room down in the tunnel. And at 8 o'clock, we have round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Our stamp ministry will be in the stamp room at 8:15. And at 8:30, the Golf Association will meet at the Shell Point Golf Club. Bocce will be played at the Woodlands at 9 o'clock. And at 9:15, we have card making and scrapbooking. They'll be in the Tarpon Room. The Caregiver Support Therapy Group will be in the conference room of the Medical Center at 9:15. And we have a 9:15 Memory Care Group in the conference room of Behavioral Health. Open painting will be down in the art studio at 9:15. And finally, at 9:15, we have shuffleboard at the play courts behind the Resident Activity Center. Match play mixed doubles tennis will be going on at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, the Suzy Q will be going to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant on Pine Island. We have a Health Connections class at 10:15, Refresh with Aromatherapy in the Social Center. Through the Bible Study group will be in the Osprey Room at 10:15. And the Vision Enrichment group will be in the Social Center also at 10:15. At 10:30, the Caregiver Support Group Therapy will be in the conference room of the Medical Center. And also at 10:30, the Memory Care Group will be at the conference room of Behavioral Health. We have a Life Quest class, Living Healthy, at 11:45. That's in the Osprey Room. We're going to move into the afternoon with Mixed Progressive Bridge at the Game Room of the Woodlands. 12:30 is the time that begins. And 1:15, we have the Knitters Group in the Osprey Room. Also at 1:15, the Rollicking Recorderist will be in the Tarpon Room. The Women's Ministry's Prayer for Missions will be in the Hospitality Room of the Village Church, also at 1:15. At 1:30, the Stamp Ministry will be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. Fun and Fitness will be in the Community Room of King's Crown at 1:45. And at 2:45, we have a Health Connections class, Osteo Break Free. That's in the Tarpon Room. That's currently full. And our final activity of the day is a 6:45 hymn sing. That's going to be at the Resident Activity Center. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow. Hi, I'm Bev Chandley, and welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm going to tell you the activities that we have offered for you here today at Shell Point. At 7:15, we have an early health connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That'll be in the Tarpon Room down in the tunnel. And at 8 o'clock, we have round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Our stamp ministry will be in the stamp room at 8:15. And at 8:30, the Golf Association will meet at the Shell Point Golf Club. Bocce will be played at the Woodlands at 9 o'clock. And at 9:15, we have card making and scrapbooking. They'll be in the Tarpon Room. The Caregiver Support Therapy Group will be in the conference room of the Medical Center at 9:15. And we have a 9:15 Memory Care Group in the conference room of Behavioral Health. Open painting will be down in the art studio at 9:15. And finally, at 9:15, we have shuffleboard at the play courts behind the Resident Activity Center. Match play mixed doubles tennis will be going on at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, the Suzy Q will be going to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant on Pine Island. We have a Health Connections class at 10:15, Refresh with Aromatherapy in the Social Center. Through the Bible Study group will be in the Osprey Room at 10:15. And the Vision Enrichment group will be in the Social Center also at 10:15. At 10:30, the Caregiver Support Group Therapy will be in the conference room of the Medical Center. And also at 10:30, the memory care group will be at the conference room of behavioral health. We have a Life Quest class, Living Healthy, at 11:45. That's in the Osprey room. We're going to move into the afternoon with mixed progressive bridge at the game room of the Woodlands. 12:30 is the time that begins. And 1:15, we have the knitters group in the Osprey room. Also at 1:15, the rollicking recorderists will be in the Tarpon room. The Women's Ministry's Prayer for Missions will be in the hospitality room of the Village Church, also at 1:15. At 1:30, the Stamp Ministry will be in the Sable room of the Woodlands. Fun and Fitness will be in the community room of King's Crown at 1:45. And at 2:45, we have a Health Connections class, Osteo Break Free. That's in the Tarpon room. That's currently full. And our final activity of the day is a 6:45 hymn sing. That's going to be at the Resident Activity Center. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Tuesday. At 9 o'clock, we begin italic calligraphy and flourished italics in the Savor Room of the Woodlands. Sign up is required. At 9:30, writing your memoirs begins in the Buttonwood Room of the Woodlands for those who have signed up. And at 10 o'clock, we have Behind the Scenes of the Assassin's Honor and What's Next in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands, and you can sign up right at the door. At 4:30, English History and Culture. Session 1 will begin in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands, and you can sign up right at the door. Let me tell you what's coming up new tomorrow. We have a brand new bridge class, Bridge for Beginners, with Susan Willoughby. And then we have Get Crafty in the Shell Point Wood Shop with our woodshop supervisor, Phil Nadeau. We also have a beginning intermediate bridge class, also with Susan Willoughby.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is sherry chicken, mushroom with wild rice pilaf, and vegetable medley. The dinner special is the turkey buffet for $13.95. The soup of the day is corn chowder. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a fried flounder sandwich with coleslaw for $7.75. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are coconut marinated pork tenderloin for $15.95 or spaghetti and meatballs for $13.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey. Some time ago, the BBC ran a story about 33-year-old Mark Ashton Smith, PhD, a lecturer in psychology at Cambridge University in England. With some time off from his teaching, Mark took it into his head to circumnavigate the Isle of Wight, located about 4 miles off the south coast of England, near Southampton. He planned on 4 days of paddling to cover the 70-mile distance, with the initial stretch of water, known as the Solent, being tricky due to the current, the tides, and its being a major shipping route for passenger, freight, and military vessels. The trip didn't go as planned, however. On the first day out, Mark ran into trouble. The sea grew very rough, and Mark's kayak capsized. Unable to get back into it, he tried to swim, struggling for half an hour to reach land with the kayak in tow, but to no avail. He sounded his foghorn, but passing vessels failed to hear it. Unable either to make progress or to get back into the kayak, Mark reached for his cell phone in the watertight container he had stowed on board. By the time I got the mobile, he said to the BBC, my hands were getting cold, so I had to struggle for a bit to undo the little watertight container. And then I fished it out, and I held it above the waterline when the bigger waves came in. Clinging helplessly to his canoe, he decided not to call the national emergency number, 999 in the UK, but to call his father for help. And his father was 4,000 miles away in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. Not a problem, however. On the contrary, Mark's father answered promptly and immediately alerted the Solent Coast Guards, located, get this, less than a mile away from his son. When they heard of the unfolding drama, the Coast Guard quickly made contact with Mark, then dispatched a helicopter to him, aided by signals from his handheld locator device. So, after clinging to his kayak for nearly an hour, Mark was winched to safety. Solent Coast Guard Duty Watch Manager Peter Brown told BBC News Online that Dr. Mark Ashton Smith was lucky to be alive. He was very, very lucky that the cell phone worked and that his father had had the foresight to call the Coast Guards, he said. Mr. Brown said that in those windy conditions, with the tide ebbing, they could have been searching for him for many hours. He offered some advice for people considering similar trips. Always carry a flare and a marine radio, he said, and anyone can contact the Coast Guard directly at 999. It intrigued me that a man of 33, who was facing a life or death emergency, would first turn to his father 4,000 miles away, rather than dialing the national emergency phone number 999. It says something for their relationship. Mark knew his phone could be put out of action by the next wave and trusted his father to quickly take charge of getting the competent authority to rescue him. His action also says something about the importance, responsibility, and value of a father, even when our sons are grown men and daughters are grown women, for that matter, however near or far they might be. How are you doing as a parent? But let's take another step in the application of this compelling story. Jesus taught us to pray, "Our Father who is in heaven." What a comfort in the hour of need for the Christian to be able to turn to an omnipotent Heavenly Father. "O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay and you are the potter, and all of us are the work of your hand," exclaimed the prophet Isaiah. The shepherd king David proclaimed, "Just as a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him." And Jesus himself observed, "If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give what is good to those who ask him?" And again Jesus said, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow, nor reap, nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not worth much more than they?" Take comfort today, therefore, if you are a Christ follower, that we have a Heavenly Father who delights to attend to the needs of his children. Call on him before you alert the Coast Guard. You may not need a helicopter like Mark Ashton Smith, but the Apostle Paul assures us that God is working all things together for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. That's not to say that things will always turn out as we ask. They won't. Ultimately, we bow to our Father's will. Jesus taught us to pray, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And he himself prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane before his crucifixion, "Not my will, but thine be done." Father knows best. And thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.
Well, that brings today's program to a close. Watch tomorrow when Ruth Duber will be cooking up something delicious in her kitchen once again. And Robin Church will tell us about some of the May specials at the Island Salon and Spa. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Tuesday, May 3rd. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.